everyone, this is Vishal from Equity Guru, and this is Chart Attack. Today, post-market, the earnings season continues. Another anticipated earnings. It is Tesla Q3 earnings, and a lot of people are expecting, I guess, big things, and I'll tell you what the street is expecting. But as you can see here from the past, their earnings per share has always been a surprise. They've always beat expectations, upside surprise. You can even see here all of these quarters they beat. There's only a miss back in December 31st of 2020. And take a look at their previous quarterly financials. Revenues up 41% year over year, net income up 97% year over year. Pretty big numbers here, right? So what Wall Street is now expecting is they are expecting Q3 revenue to be 22.13 billion with earnings per share at $1.01. And this revenue figure, folks, it would account for more than a $5 billion jump from Q2. And this is, when they mentioned that they had COVID-related operation issues at their Shanghai plant. And year over year, the $22 billion expected revenue would be a 61% jump from Q3 2021. So, the street is expecting big things, but there's one issue that a lot of people will be following, or one topic I would say that a lot of people are going to be following in this earnings report. That is, of course, demand for Tesla vehicles, right? Not just with the economy slowing down, but also in China, where a lot of sales have been. Demand is slowing down there too because there's, economic issues in China. And if you guys recall, in the last quarterly report, Tesla said it made 22,000 more electric vehicles than it delivered and blamed the rise in inventory on transportation related problems. And, CEO Elon Musk has been saying that, hey, man, there's no demand problem. Don't worry about it. And the top question, is China, right? What is that demand going to be? But I would also say, take a look at this chart here for demand in the US for Tesla vehicles. As you can see here, it is also going down, and a lot of people are blaming macroeconomic factors, right? Upcoming recession, that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be quite interesting to keep an eye on what the demand is going to be. And, the term we like to use is forward guidance. How many sales will Tesla be able to do in the future? And, that obviously will impact what investors think, or where investors think the share price will be going. But there's, other little stories there as well. Is Elon Musk going to mention anything about the gigaplants in Berlin and Austin? Are they going to ramp up production? Is Shanghai going to be fully back to 100% operations? Is he going to provide details about the future roadmap for the Cybertruck? And a lot of analysts and traders are saying that Musk is running out of excuses and that he will need to execute some sort of reasonable growth and unit targets. But I just mentioned that maybe he's been busy with other ventures and other things taking up his time. Of course, referring to the drama with Twitter recently. If we look at the charts here, whenever earnings comes out, there's not like a consistent pattern with Tesla earnings. There is one with Netflix, which I'll talk about a bit later. But we've seen an earnings drop. We've seen an earnings pop in the last quarterly report back out in July. What's going to happen now, right? That's the big question. And obviously, I can't predict with the crystal ball how the market will react to positive earnings because, again, as you've seen, earnings can come out positive. The stock can still drop because there's all this forward guidance and other data points that people are watching. That's why I say for Tesla, watch that demand number because I think that's going to be a really key factor going forward. But as always, whenever there's this big macro data, just on the technical charts, we always tend to see stocks be basing at a very important level. And Tesla is basing at a major support level here around the 205 level, which has held as support since May of 2022 of this year. Of course, it did make a big move higher up to 310 after finding a base here, but we have sold off and we are now back at that major support level. And the stock's just been ranging here now for multiple days, just up and down. Almost a breakout yesterday, but didn't pan out, even though the markets were relatively strong. Now earnings is going to be that catalyst, right, to see if we can get a nice move higher from here. I would be watching that 270 zone as my next resistance level. Or, of course, if the market takes earnings poorly, we get that breakdown, and I think we can see Tesla go to 180 and possibly even 150 down the road. So it's all dependent on that earnings. We have, the stock ranging, and I personally don't trade earnings, right? Because it's to me, it's almost a 50-50 guess here. What I like to do, though, is play a stock maybe post earnings, right? So we'll get that breakout if we do see good earnings tomorrow. And I would want to wait to play that first pullback, right? Because I don't really like to chase FOMO just because it sort of gets your risk to reward or ratio a bit skewed. So I would, play it slowly, play it patiently, wait to see a close above 220, which, if the earnings are good, you will get that close likely tomorrow. And then wait for that first pullback where you can re-enter. And, you want to ideally see something like this. So I'll draw out this pattern, just a typical breakout, retest, and higher move, right? But obviously, if the earnings are really, really good and the market really likes it, you might not even get this pullback right away, right? Maybe it takes a few days of momentum before the stock actually pulls back, but that's okay, right? We are patient traders. You want to stick with your criteria. You don't want to chase this FOMO, because if you do miss out on this, there will be plenty of other opportunities in other markets to follow, right? But technically, we are at a major support level. Now it's really about what Tesla is going to put out in their Q3 earnings, and if investors in the market will like it as a whole. And as I said, focus on that demand factor, because I think that will be key for forward guidance. That's it for me, folks. Let me know where you guys think Tesla is going. Are you buying the dip here in Tesla here? Do you think we will ever go back to all-time highs, or do you think there's still more lows for Tesla to go? Let me know in the comments below. Have fun trading, and I'll see you guys in the next video.